Alright, welcome back to TEW 2020, the new era. We are here for the fucking pay-per-view, baby. The Great American Bash, the first brand exclusive pay-per-view. SmackDown's, it's SmackDown's, yes, it is SmackDown's pay-per-view. It is a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. If you didn't watch the match card video, that's a shame for you because I'm not running down the card. It's in the description. The match card's in the description in order of when the matches are happening. So if this is for some reason your first episode in the series, that's what's going on tonight. Man, I really don't have much else to say other than if you want to leave predictions, you can. Just pause right now, put them in the description if you want. You don't get a prize for it because it's so easy for you to cheat on this. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's just get right into the pay-per-view. So we open the show with your standard pre-pay-per-view video package. I've got all the biggest names that are going to be on the show. The 3 men in the men's triple threat, the 3 women in the women's triple threat. Bayley's there, and Brock Lesnar is there. Probably could have put Sami Zayn instead of Bayley, but you know what? I wanted Bayley in here because fuck you. So yes, I do have the match card pulled up on my phone just so I can give a little, get myself a little ready before each match. And our opening match is Tye Dillinger versus the Monster Abyss. And this match, I set it to car crash, so believe it or not, it's an absolute fucking car crash. And the men go absolutely ham on each other. And it only goes about 5 minutes, really. It only goes 5 minutes before we get a pinfall. And it's an open match, just constant brawling, a wild brawl car crash. I say that a bunch of times. But in the end, after 5 minutes and 23 seconds of pure chaos, Abyss will hit the black hole slam on Tye Dillinger and pick up the win to get a nice little 53 for this mid-card feud. I booked way too many matches for this pay-per-view and I didn't even realize it. So, yeah, a lot of these matches are going to have shorter time than I would have liked. So this one only went 5 minutes. And I believe I have put a angle before most of the matches, but not all of them. So hopefully next up is the triple threat match, but our other resident mid-card feud here tonight between Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, and Kalisto. As we know, it's just been a war. The feud's really just been a little bit of bitterness. Each man thinks they're trying to outshine the other one, and in the end, Apollo Crews and Kalisto kept going for each other because they've had the most recent beef. Obviously, they've both had their troubles with Baron Corbin, but recently, it's really picked up between Kalisto and Apollo Crews, and Baron Corbin's really able to capitalize and defeat Apollo Crews after Kalisto hits the Samurai del Sol. Baron Corbin throws him out of the ring, hits the end of days for good measure, and picks up the victory. The heel wins the match. I know. In 2018, probably don't want to see Baron Corbin win too many matches, and it's 2021, so it's gotten even worse. But try to put yourselves in the mindset of 2016. There was a nice cult following going for Baron Corbin, and I kind of want to capitalize on that, not the whole Constable bit. We then get a short promo where Dana Brooke, her arm is still in a cast. It's not in a sling this time, but it's in a cast. And Charlotte Flair is just constantly berating her still, just like, nice one, Dana. Really got me out of that match with Becky Lynch, Dana. Just being a complete asshole. Eventually, Charlotte walks into the bathroom, and Becky Lynch takes this time not to ambush Dana Brooke. She's like, Dana, I know we've had our differences, alright? I kind of maybe broke your arm, or busted it up pretty bad. But I hope you know you were just... I had to shoot the messenger in that situation. I just gotta know, why do you let Charlotte walk all over you? Why do you just do whatever she says? Dana just kind of looks a little cross and like, It's complicated. And then Becky just tries to convince her to turn face, to ditch Charlotte. And the crowd wants to see Dana ditch Charlotte, and Becky's trying to plant that seed to get her to leave her former friend. Up next is our, I believe, a women's match. If it's not, then I'm going to look like an idiot. It is Alexa Bliss and Bayley, two women who've really had their own mini feud spawned out of the bigger feud for the women's championship between Nikki Bella, Paige, and Sasha Banks. And Alexa Bliss and Bayley goes about 12 minutes and 32 seconds, and Alexa Bliss picks up the victory. Think back to all the times Alexa Bliss lost. There aren't that many. In fact, there's only one on the main roster, and that's when she lost to Becky Lynch. And despite using underhanded tactics, Alexa Bliss is able to take out one of the top women in the division to possibly stake her claim for a title match. Whatever. Fucking whatever. And up next, we will have the tag title match. And on the screen right now is hopefully a picture of Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. If it's not, say in the comments so I realize I uploaded the wrong video, because there's supposed to be a lot of suspense here. So Bubba Ray and Devon are talking to the crowd. They're like, they're just mocking Shinsuke. They're mocking Balor for being weak and getting injured by a lead pipe that he smashed into his, whatever it was, his shoulder, and just wrecked him. And for those of you that didn't watch the Cruiserweight Classic episode, Daniel Bryan posted a tweet, and it said, Shinsuke Nakamura has 3 options for the Great American Bash. Option A, he can find a new partner. Option B, he will take the Dudley Boys on in a handicap match for the titles. And option C is a flat-out forfeit. So eventually Nakamura does come out. And when he comes out, he says, I'm not going to try to imitate Nakamura for multiple reasons, but the main one is Nakamura's got a certain charisma to him that not many other people can capture. So I'm just going to cut the promo as if it's me. When I went to the Cruiserweight Classic a few days ago, I was on there as a scouting exposition, and I found the perfect man to replace my former tag team partner, Finn Balor, in this tag team championship match. And there's a short pause, and eventually we hear some music that not too many fans are familiar with if they don't watch the Cruiserweight Classic, and then on the screen it slowly says, Ibushi. And Nakamura has selected Kota Ibushi to be his tag team partner to take on the Dudley Boys. And, well, let's be real, guys. This is the storytelling match. I have to have one. And the story is that Nakamura and Ibushi haven't teamed up before, and you can really tell during this match. There's a few spots where their timing's a little off, and they don't exactly get the tag team maneuver they want, but eventually they do click. And once they click, they go on an absolute roll. Nothing the Dudley Boys can do. They try to cheat out of it, but because they tried to cheat Nakamura and Balor out of a tag team title match, this match is now no disqualifications. So Bubba Ray and Devon, they're trying to get weapons. They're trying to get DQ'd. Doesn't work. And eventually Nakamura catches one of them. I don't remember which one I set. He catches one of them with the Kinshasa. Kota Ibushi picks him up for the power bomb, and Nakamura and Finn Balor win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. 87 overall. Dudley Boys kind of had to carry this match, and that's probably going to be the only instance you hear anyone ever say that. And the reason for that is just because of Pop, alright? Nakamura and Ibushi are probably 2 of the best workers on my entire roster, and they're just simply nowhere near as over as the Dudley Boys, so there's an unfair disadvantage right there. And right after that title change, we get into the United States Championship match, and I don't think it is. Okay, so the build to this match has been Rusev got injured on a house show. That's a shoot. I guess a TEW shoot. Rusev gets injured on a house show, and the story is that Lana's telling us that he's been getting all this Bulgarian extensive training When in reality, Zack Ryder smells something fishy about that. When Rusev comes back, he doesn't see any new moves getting debuted by Rusev. He doesn't see really any evidence of this Bulgarian training. And on the go-home show, he reveals that he got the scoops from the doctors that Rusev wasn't taking any Bulgarian training. He was flat out injured. So, due to Rusev being fresh off of an injury, he simply cannot keep up with Zack Ryder, and despite distractions from Lana, despite attacks, interference from Lana, Zack Ryder is able to retain the United States Championship here tonight. We then get our second vignette announcing that Eva Marie will be returning to television very soon. And that's all it is Eva Marie is going to be returning to television very soon. And our very next match is the one between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Becky has been on an absolute roll lately, beating the undefeated at the time Alexa Bliss, who still only has one loss, demanding this match against Charlotte. And earlier tonight, we know that Dana Brooke's going to be at ringside, but will she actually help Charlotte? Nobody thinks Charlotte can win this match without Dana Brooke's help. So what does Dana do? Well, the match goes a decent amount of time. Dana doesn't really help at all during the match. Becky Lynch gets the disarmor on. It is reversed by Charlotte. Ref bump. Dana Brooke does indeed, despite what Becky was hoping, does indeed interfere. Wakes up the ref. Charlotte locks in the figure 8. And Becky Lynch retains. No, she retains. What the heck? That was wrong on so many levels. Charlotte Flair wins the match. I had this booked as kind of a red herring, and it didn't even appear in the fucking angle. So, great job. So yeah, up next is an angle with Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooke celebrating, and Charlotte Flair quickly, it's just a 1-minute promo after their celebration saying, Becky Lynch was nothing. I want to get my championship back. Speaking of getting her championship back, that's the next match, is the women's championship match. Nikki Bella versus Paige versus Sasha Banks. And it's your, classic triple threat match. It goes a decent amount of time, but in the end, Sasha Banks is able to retain the title. Locks in the bank statement on Nikki Bella while Paige can't get there in time. Sasha makes defense number 1 of the championship. Bayley was not there to help her, as Bayley was still kind of recovering from her match, and that leaves the door wide open for the Queen to come back and, make her words mean something. She comes in, hits Banks with a massive super kick, and the natural selection before locking in the figure 8, and having referees force Charlotte to break the hold. We then are leaded to my match with the match with my favorite build on the entire show, Brock Lesnar and Sami Zayn. If you haven't watched the build to this match, well, what happened was Brock Lesnar made an announcement that he was returning to in-ring action on Raw after winning his MMA fight. He never heard anything back from the GMs because they're dealing with their own shit on Raw, and Paul Heyman decided, you know what? Screw Raw. We're coming to SmackDown, and we're going to run roughshod on SmackDown. But there was one man that took exception to that, and that was Sami Zayn. And on an episode of SmackDown, during Paul Heyman's promo, Sami Zayn gets one up on Brock Lesnar, laying him out, making him retreat before Paul Heyman challenges Sami Zayn to this match. And this match goes about 15-ish minutes, where we see I tried to put Lesnar in with Sami Zayn because I feel in the real world Lesnar's best matches recently have been against the smaller guys, have been the matches where he's against guys like Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, AJ Styles. So it's just one of those matches, and it's going really well for Zayn, but it's also going really well for Lesnar. And in the end, Lesnar is just too good of an opponent for Sami Zayn to overcome tonight. And in a 92 rated match. Nice fucking job, you guys. Nice fucking job. Lesnar defeats Sami Zayn with an F5. This was a win-win situation for Sami. He either wins the match and gets a huge amount of momentum, or he loses the match and he gets a good amount of pop from just working with Lesnar at this point. So, really nothing Zayn could have done to fuck this up, unless I guess he didn't show up. So, after that match, though, Paul Heyman finally gets to make the announcement that he's been dying to make on SmackDown. The announcement that Sami Zayn interrupted. And all Paul Heyman says is, I'm going to make this quick. Brock is hungry for gold. We then get a hype promo for our main event of the evening. The three-way between Ambrose and Styles and Ziggler. The build to this match being that Ziggler knows this is the end of the road for him. He doesn't capture the title. He's going to be down in the mid-card. AJ Styles is furious at Ambrose after Ambrose took out both of his men who are not going to be medically cleared to appear tonight. And I'm just going to cut straight to the match. There's no point in stalling at all. I think we all know Dean Ambrose is going to retain in a 97 rated match. Dolph Ziggler was the weak link and he got an 84. That should show you how good this fucking match was. Michael Cole was really weak. Ziggler was off his game. You know what? That's fine. Ambrose pins Dolph Ziggler with the dirty deeds. Makes defense number 4 of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And after the match, AJ Styles, he walks away. Dolph Ziggler wakes up during Dean Ambrose's celebration. Ambrose helps Dolph to his feet. And Dolph doesn't turn heel. He's a good dude. He raises the hand to Dean Ambrose. He realizes he was the better man tonight. He raises Ambrose's hands. And that's how we end the Great American Bash 2016. Woohoo! 95 rated show, baby. 95 rated show. Good fucking matches. Good fucking matches. I gotta give Dean and AJ both a... I'll give Ambrose the hug. I'll give AJ, tell him he's awesome, and I'll give the third shout out to Brock. I like to, I used to just go told they're awesome each time, but, I just kind of like to gas people up and, you know, kind of give it like a, I don't know why I'm explaining this so poorly. Basically, the way I like to do it now is giving guys like a first place of the, like, AJ Styles was the best on the show. Ambrose was in second. Brock was in third. I don't know why that was so hard for me to explain. Like, sometimes my words just do not come out properly. There's Kenneth Crawford. He's in our dev right now. I'm just simming to this part in case any of you guys are interested in the buy rates, in the viewing figures at all, any of that stuff. But other than that, that is going to do it for this episode of the New Era. There might be a little break in between this one and Raw. Maybe not Raw, but definitely the next SmackDown Live, as I need to know where everyone's going to go to Survivor Series. So I hope to see you guys there for either Raw or the next SmackDown Live.